everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and tonight I am getting busy harvesting and replanting the containers here in the fire pit. Now, I had barley planted here, which you can see I still have one more pot to harvest. From that single container, I got, a good harvest, which I'm gonna add to the barley that I grew in the wall, and we still have the barley wave to harvest. So I actually think we're gonna be able to brew quite a bit of beer from all this barley. All right, I'm gonna get busy harvesting this pot of barley, and then I'll show you the next step. All right, as you can see, I doubled the harvest. Just these two pots here in the fire pit, direct seeded with barley last early December. They grew all winter and looked great. They've actually resulted in a meaningful harvest. And now I'm getting these replanted for the summer with classic Foodscape combinations. So I have a bunch of plants here, and I'm basically going to mimic the same containers, just reflective, on either side of the bench. And then I'm gonna use this dill and a different type of pepper and a different coleus to go into that taller one where the barley was. So the coolest thing about this approach to container gardening, filling these pots with compost and then just pulling the plants out and allowing their roots to just decompose in the pot, is that I don't have to refill them with soil. So I'm literally just going to plant in the soil that had just been growing a completely different combination. And I'm gonna top dress with some used potting soil that I have here. This was actually growing cumin, and it got too hot and the cumin died. So that cumin is a cool season annual, by the way, that I have not had success in cultivating. But this is gonna be the perfect amount of sort of topsoil to just fill on top, and then once they're planted, I will fertilize them and then get them mulched. And the fire pit area will be converted completely for the summer season. So I want to show you what the soil looks like. This one had lettuce growing in it and parsley. So those are annual plants, just like the barley is. You can see it was super easy to plant in there. I'm just sort of breaking this up because I let this dry out. And this soil is healthy. It was a healthy pot that I just undid, and there's no reason to waste it. So you can totally use your soil year after year in pots, as long as you don't have disease issues. And this is predominantly soil cube, and these were probably filled at least 2 or 3 years ago. I've been using this soil for many seasons now, very successfully. Now I'm gonna plant an eggplant, a pepper, and a coleus to match this planter on the other side of the bench. Also a sweet potato. I'm just gonna put a handful of this Dr. Earth, really kind of basic, ideal fertilizer. It's gonna scatter it across the top of each one of these pots. And then the final step is just mulching to make them look finished. Make sure they won't get damaged in any heavy rainstorms, or if you water without a rose on your sprinkler or your hose, but you shouldn't do that, just saying. Putting your finger over the end of the hose is not a solution. And it's amazing how, with just a tiny bit of effort, these can just look so much better. And like this pot here, that's a perennial dianthus, a rose that's been in the pot for over a year, and a chamaecyparis. So I just had room for one thing. You could put anything in there. I just figured I already have an eggplant, a sweet potato, and a pepper on both sides of the bench here, and then another pepper and a dill plant in the other container, that I have plenty of food crops to be able to harvest from. and simultaneously enjoy the space because these pots look great. And I can't wait to show you how they grow all summer long. Well, all that's left to do is water them in. And then once a month, I will fertilize these with fish emulsion or kelp emulsion. I just mix it up in a watering can and douse everything good. That'll give it everything it needs to thrive all summer long. Well, I hope that you'll be inspired to create some Foodscape containers for yourself. The bigger the vessel, the better, because that means you can grow more in it and be that much more efficient with your square footage. Well, be sure to subscribe to the Breathe the Plant Lady YouTube channel for more practical gardening advice. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.